What's going on, everybody? It's Nick with Facemask Fantasy, and there has been another offseason quarterback trade. The Indianapolis Colts are sending Carson Wentz to Washington in exchange for a second-round pick swap where Indy moves up from 47 to 42 in this year's draft, and 2 third-round picks, one each this year and next year. The 2023 pick can become a second-round pick if Wentz plays 70% of the snaps for the Commanders this year. Washington was looking for any type of upgrade at all over Taylor Heinicke, while the Colts were clearly not committed to sticking with Wentz based on how they answered questions about their quarterback situation this offseason. For fantasy purposes, Wentz was the QB 14 on the season in standard scoring formats and the QB 20 in fantasy points per game. He was a serviceable option most of the time this past year, but he had 5 games under 15 fantasy points scored. 3 of those games he was under 10 fantasy points. Wentz is an unexciting QB2 for fantasy no matter where he is, and with a clear drop in offensive line play going from the Colts to Washington, it's hard to feel all that great about Wentz outside of super flex leagues. And even then, hopefully you have a more stable option to turn to outside of plus matchups and bye weeks. One positive we can give to Wentz is that Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman both enjoyed strong 2021 seasons. And for Taylor, of course, he was the overall RB1. This can be viewed as a good development for the likes of Antonio Gibson and Terry McLaurin. But of course, there's no way we can project an overall RB1 finish for Gibson, especially if the team re-signs J.D. McKissic, who could continue to cut into Gibson's work in the passing game. If Gibson ever sees more third down work, he remains a safe low-end RB1 with high-end RB1 upside. As for McLaurin, this could give him a little more stability than what he had this past year with Heinicke. If you take Pittman's production, he was around the wide receiver 15 on the season regardless of scoring format, and he was outside the top 20 in fantasy points per game for receivers that played at least 10 games. So there might be some inconsistency still leaving much to be desired with McLaurin, but after finishing as a wide receiver 3 in 2021, a wide receiver 2 finish would of course be a better outcome for him. Not what you're likely hoping for with someone like Terry McLaurin, but an upgrade is an upgrade. Going back to J.D. McKissic, he stands to benefit if the team brings him back as a third down specialist. Wentz is a solid quarterback for pass-catching backs through his career. So again, this could be good news for Gibson, or it could be good news for McKissic if he's back. Both should be worth the cost at their ADP, but Gibson, of course, can get a slight bump if McKissic is not retained. Tight end Logan Thomas has an ADP right now of 144, and Wentz also has a history of favoring tight ends. That's a pretty good value right now that I can get on board with, but you might have to hurry on that one in best balls. The ADP might climb, because even if the QB upgrade for Washington is marginal, it's still an upgrade nonetheless. Someone like Curtis Samuel is also an intriguing option with Wentz at QB if he's able to get on the field and stay healthy. Samuel has a history of playing a hybrid running back wide receiver role in Ron Rivera's offense, and he too could benefit on short and intermediate throws from Wentz. With an ADP of about 140, it's hardly much of a risk to take a chance on a healthy Samuel, healthy being the key word here. On the flip side in Indianapolis, I think it's fair to say nobody's going to be too concerned about who the quarterback is as it pertains to Jonathan Taylor. He's currently the 101 in one quarterback formats and an easy top 5 selection in Superflex leagues. This trade does not change his projections. As for Pittman, we'll of course have to wait and see who the Colts end up with as their starter before making the call if we need to move him up or down our rankings. He has an ADP of about 58, so now could be a good chance to get in a few best balls and grab him in the event that he slides a bit given the immediate uncertainty about who his quarterback will be. Pittman's entering his 3rd year and is easily the best option the team has in the passing game. If I can get him in the 6th round on a bit of a discount, I'm good with that. And keep in mind, tight end Jack Doyle has retired, so Mo-Alie could be in line for more work. But the Colts could really use some extra firepower on offense after Taylor and Pittman. So there'll likely be players in the draft and or free agency in that department. I think it's fair to say the Colts offense in general is unsettled about their skill position players, so we'll have to come back and revisit this situation when we know more. That's a quick fantasy breakdown regarding the Wentz trade to Washington. What do you guys think? Do you have any investment on either side here? Put your thoughts in the comment section below if you have any, and we can have a conversation about this. Till then, this is Nick with Facemask Fantasy. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for listening.